You buy the house, sign the papers, unpack the endless boxes, and believe you're finally settling into that peaceful slice of suburban life everyone talks about. You assume your biggest debates will be about lawn care or which streaming service is worth keeping. But sometimes the battles are closer to home, hidden behind manicured hedges and perfect front doors. We had moved into Willow Ridge just 3 months earlier. My wife, Lieutenant Colonel Emily Carter, whose demanding Air Force career often dictated our relocations, was cautiously optimistic about this new beginning. This time felt different. Emily, brilliant and often exhausted, had flown combat missions, led strategic operations, and now held a key position at a classified facility nearby. Our homey, a 2-story brick house with a solid yard, felt like the kind of place where we could finally put down roots. The first few weeks were the usual blur, unpacking, painting, and discovering the best local takeout. Emily, despite her grueling schedule, poured herself into making the place feel like home. I work remotely as a technical editor, so I became the go-to person for deliveries and navigating the HOA's recycling schedule. The welcome packet from the Willow Ridge Homeowners Association was thick, packed with regulations on everything from mailbox colors to acceptable lawn heights. A bit much, I commented while flipping through the pages. Emily, busy organizing her aviation books, barely glanced up. Just keep the grass cut, Alex. Don't give them a reason. Wise advice, though we soon learned even that wouldn't be enough. There was something almost unnervingly perfect about Willow Ridge. Lawns were pristine, cars perfectly aligned, and neighbors offered practiced smiles. The place felt curated to the point of sterility. I often caught myself staring at the framed photo of Emily from her Navy days, the first woman pilot in the Blue Angels, beaming in front of her jet. Comparing that soaring symbol of freedom to the cookie-cutter conformity outside our window felt jarring. Our first run-in came tucked inside a crisp white envelope in our HOA-approved mailbox. The crime? Leaving our trash bins at the curb 5 hours past the mandated retrieval time. Emily had just returned from a brutal 48-hour training exercise. Retrieving the bins had slipped my mind until the next morning. The violation notice was sharp and impersonal, citing bylaw numbers and imposing a $50 fine. $50 for forgetting the bins? I muttered, showing Emily. She scanned the letter briefly. Just pay it, Alex. It's easier. But it didn't sit right with me. Wanting to smooth things over, I called the HOA President, a man named Richard Hale. I hoped a friendly chat might clear the air. But Hale's tone was anything but friendly. Rules are rules, mister. Carter, he cut me off mid-sentence. Especially for new residents. Perhaps you and your wife aren't used to maintaining proper community standards. There was a venomous edge beneath his polite words. It wasn't about trash bins, it was about control. The notices didn't stop. Next came a letter about our lawn height, claiming we were a 1/4 inch over the 3-inch maximum even though our lawn service had been out the day before. Then the ornamental grasses near the mailbox, planted by the previous owners, were deemed non-compliant species. A week later, we were fined for using the wrong color mulch in one flower bed. Inconsistent with the immediate visual environment. The notice read. Are they serious? I asked Emily, waving the letter at her one evening. Cedar blend number 3, she replied dryly, scanning the bylaw again. Not rustic redwood. This isn't about mulch. It's Hale. He's targeting us. Emily met my eyes, her military sharpness flickering to life. If he is, reacting emotionally plays right into his hands. Let's comply. Document everything. Then we'll see where this goes. Swallowing my frustration, I bought the correct mulch, double-checked plant lists, and mowed like clockwork. But the white envelopes continued. Adding fuel to the fire was Linda Peterson, 3 houses down, always armed with passive-aggressive smiles and unsolicited advice. Oh, Alex, she cooed one Saturday while I trimmed the hedges. Just doing a little touch-up? So important to keep everything neat. Mr. Hale was mentioning at the planning meeting how first impressions matter, especially with military folks moving so often. Hard to understand community standards when you're just passing through, right? Her words sliced deeper than intended. We plan on staying, Linda, I replied firmly. Wonderful, she chirped, though her smile never reached her eyes. It wasn't just Hale. The neighborhood itself seemed to stiffen against us. Dave from next door, once friendly, now avoided eye contact. The final straw arrived in another heavy envelope announcing that the HOA had contracted Sentinel Security Group to conduct regular property inspections for compliance. Security guards? I nearly shouted, slamming the letter onto the counter. Actual guards because our mulch was the wrong color? Emily read the letter twice, her face hardening. She started researching the company immediately. Sentinel Security Group, it turned out, specialized in commercial evictions and corporate loss prevention. Not the sort of outfit usually hired for suburban landscaping disputes. Emily's military mind kicked into high gear. Document everything, she instructed. Every notice, every conversation, every violation. Don't confront the guards directly. Record them, stay calm, and gather evidence. When the first gray Sentinel SUV pulled up outside, my stomach dropped. 2 men in tactical-looking uniforms stepped out, their movements disciplined. They knocked hard on our door. Alex Carter, one of them asked. We're here to conduct an inspection on behalf of the Willow Ridge HOA. This is private property, I replied firmly. You have no legal right to conduct an inspection without a court order. Before they could respond, Emily appeared beside me, phone recording in hand. Good afternoon, gentlemen, she said calmly. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Emily Carter. Please provide your identification, licenses, and the specific written authorization from the HOA for this inspection. The guards froze. They hadn't expected that. Their attempts to bluff were quickly dismantled by Emily's knowledge of Virginia's state law regarding private security conduct. When they realized she wasn't backing down, they left, promising to report our refusal. Let them, Emily said quietly, closing the door. Now we move to the next phase. We hired a sharp attorney, Marlene Diaz, who specialized in HOA abuse cases. She confirmed what Emily had suspected. Hale's hiring of private security for enforcement was an overreach, with no clear authority granted by the bylaws. Together, we gathered a mountain of evidence recordings, documents, witness statements. Then we struck back. Diaz sent formal letters to both Hale and Sentinel citing violations of state law and HOA overreach. We filed complaints with the state licensing board against Sentinel for harassment. And Emily quietly started speaking with other neighbors, gauging support. Stories began to surface. Martha, down the street, had been harassed about her rose bushes. Dave mentioned random fees and notices that seemed targeted. Hale's house of cards was wobbling. At the next HOA meeting, with our lawyer present, Emily presented the case methodically. She laid out the timeline of harassment, the security company's illegal actions, and the psychological toll on our family. The room was silent as she played the recording of the guards refusing to provide authorization. Then Diaz dropped the bomb. A formal motion for Hale's removal as president and the immediate termination of Sentinel's contract. The votes were swift. Hale was ousted. Sentinel was gone. Peace finally returned to Willow Ridge. Neighbors began waving again, this time genuinely. Linda found new hobbies, steering clear of us. And Emily, my fierce, brilliant wife, proved once again that true strength doesn't always wear a uniform, but it always stands its ground. The house felt like home at last.